Plan Commission meeting to order for November 16th, 2023. Start with roll call.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Crompton?
Here.
Mr. Kella?
Here.
Mr. Orlando?
Here.
Mr. Dillon?
Here. Next, any questions on the minutes? Call a motion to accept them. So,
Second.
roll call.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye. What do you got, Jim?
Next would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. This section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding items listed on the agenda. At this Plan Commission meeting, we also will let you speak when the case is called, but if anybody wanted to speak at this time on an agenda item, they can do so. Seeing none, we can move on to old business, public hearing. We have none. Old business, we have none. Under new business, first order or case would be P923, preliminary plat of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 26 subdivision, and the FP 1023, final plat of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 26 subdivision. Under general information, the applicant is Centerpoint Joliet Railroad Terminal LLC. Status of the applicant is the owner. The requested action is approval of a preliminary plat and final plat. Purpose is to allow continued development of the intermodal park. The existing zoning is ITC, Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park. Location is 2903 Schweitzer Road. Size is 69.1 acres. Existing land use is industrial warehouse. Under surrounding land use and zoning, to the north is undeveloped ITC. To the south is undeveloped vacant industrial, county A1 agricultural, and ITC. And trucking facility, ITB, Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment. East is Humboldt Road extension right away, and that's ITC. To the west is undeveloped ITC zoning. Site history, the majority of the Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet development was annex zoned IT and approved with an annexation agreement as part of Phase 1 in 2008. Phase 2, which included all of Centerpoint Holdings at the time, was approved in March 2010. Subsequent phases have been recorded from March 2011 through June of 2021. The subject site comprises lots 19 and 20 of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 19 subdivision, which was approved and recorded in April 2018. The subdivision was also reclassified at that time from I-1 Light Industrial to ITC, Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park zoning. A 977,150 square foot warehouse was recently constructed on the site and is not yet occupied. Schweitzer Road, adjacent to the site, is now fully constructed. Under special information, the petitioner seeks approval of preliminary and final plats for Phase 26 of the Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet subdivision. Plats created 3 lots to separate the existing site components. Lot 22 contains a recently constructed warehouse development. This lot also includes Lot 19 of Phase 19, which was originally set aside for a public transportation drop-off and turnaround that is no longer needed. Lot 23 contains a stormwater detention basin. This lot will be maintained by the Centerpoint Property Owners Association. Lot 24 contains the cul-de-sac that serves as the terminus of Schweitzer Road. There are future plans to vacate part of Schweitzer Road west of Hubbell Road to be a private road owned by the Property Owners Association. The subject property was recently developed as an industrial warehouse building in conformance with the IT zoning ordinance. Public improvements and other development requirements were addressed as part of that development. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have the petitioner on hand? You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name, please.
Chris Bacia. I'm here on behalf of Centerpoint. I've got the Centerpoint's engineer, Chris Pappas, is here, and Centerpoint representative, Carmen Baudolero. So I agree with the staff report. I think Jim kind of summarized why we're here. This is kind of a cleanup of the lot that was created, and this plat will accommodate the future vacation of Schweitzer Road. and that's something that the city and Centerpoint have discussed west of Hobo, and it's going to be a private road maintained by the property owner association. That's the ultimate goal, so this will facilitate that. Does eliminate that transportation drop-off and turnaround, no longer needed, and it creates a lot for the stormwater detention facility that's going to be conveyed to the property owners association. There's been quite a few public improvements that have been completed by Centerpoint in this location, and you'll see that the next case is property south and east of this, but quite a bit has been done out here. You know, Hobo is now 4 lanes from Schweitzer to Centerpoint Way. Sewer and water utilities have been extended. The intersection has been improved with signals at Schweitzer and Hobo, and Schweitzer has been reconstructed from Hobo to the west edge of this Phase 26. So with that, I would ask for a favorable recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Yeah, I have.
You have a question? Go ahead.
Excuse me, sir. One thing, you have a 977,000 square foot warehouse now. It's not occupied?
It's correct. It's not occupied, and I believe that there's no, tenant prospects at this time.
Is the building completed? Is the building completed, do you know?
I'm gonna have Carmen come up. He can
okay.
give you the details.
Hi, Carmen Battolero with Centerpoint. Yes, the building is complete. All permits are closed.
Okay, but you have no tenant in the foreseeable future?
We do not have any tenant,
okay.
It's a speculative
Do you know
building.
if there's gonna be a cold storage warehouse by any chance?
No, there'd be very little chance of this being cold storage.
Okay, another thing too, Mr. Spacious said something about Joliet's not gonna be involved in maintaining the roads. So the city of Joliet has no liability with the snow removal or the maintaining of the roads in Centerpoint, right? He went kind of fast on me, so I didn't catch it all.
Sure. So the intent is Schweitzer Road, as we can see on the screen here, west of Hubble, for that portion of road to get transferred over to be a private road under Centerpoint, at which point that we would take down the maintenance of that road and then the snow plowing of it. This subdivision, along with Phase 27, which is next in line, is part of the requirement and the first step to allow us to then vacate that road and then take it back private. So once that all happens, and this is the first step to do that, the road, Schweitzer Road, west of Hubble, will become a private road.
Okay.
That was the intent.
Thank you for the info.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Does any citizen wish to speak in favor or against it? Seeing none, do I have a motion for approval for P-9-23, FP-10-23?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye. Next, Jim.
So that was, unanimously recommended for approval. That will go to second meeting in December at City Council. Next case is P-1023, preliminary plat of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Northwest Amendment Subdivision, and FP-1123, final plat of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Northwest Amendment Phase 27 Subdivision. General information, the applicant again is Centerpoint Joliet Railroad Terminal LLC. Status of the applicant is owner. Requested action is approval of a preliminary plat and final plat. Purpose is to allow continued development of the intermodal park. Existing zoning is ITB, Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment, and ITC, Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park. Location is southwest corner and southeast corner of Schweitzer Road and Hobart Road. Size is 449.1 acres. Existing land use agricultural, undeveloped, and it's a trucking facility. Surrounding land use and zoning, to the north is industrial warehouse, ITC, waste management landfill, county A1 agriculture. To the south is agricultural, rural, residential, and undeveloped. There's a pipeline there also, county A1, and industrial warehouse, ITC. To the east, industrial, again, pipeline, I1 light industrial, and I2 general industrial. To the west is undeveloped, county A1 agricultural. and County I-3 Intensive Industrial. Under site history, again, similar site history as the other one, so I'm going to skip that, but let me know if you want me to go back. But this is same site history for Center Point Park. Under special information, the petitioner, Center Point Joliet Railroad Terminal LLC, seeks approval of preliminary and final plats for Phase 27 of the Center Point Intermodal Center at Joliet subdivision. This subdivision includes 10 lots, 5 of which could be developed in the future. Lots 29, 30, 31, and 33, which range in size from 22 to 176 acres, could all be developed and possibly subject to future re-subdivisions. Lot 25, which is 2 acres, could also be developed and is located next to the existing trucking facility at 2800 Schweitzer Road. Lots 28 and 32 contain pipeline easements and will be maintained by the Property Owners Association. Lot 34 contains a sanitary sewer lift station that will be owned and maintained by the City of Joliet. Lot 26, 2800, and 2898 Schweitzer Road is developed and contains a trucking facility for Legacy Express Trucking. Lot 27 is a stormwater detention basin for lots 25 and 26, will be maintained by the Properties Owners Association. Proposed development plans will need to comply with the existing IT zoning ordinance and the landscape ordinance. Sewer and water connection fees, sewer surcharge fees, and development impact fees will be required as per the previously approved annexation agreement. Landscaping requirements will include a 30-foot landscape area adjacent to Schweitzer Road and Humboldt Road. All public improvements will be required per the subdivision regulations and the requirements of the Public Works and Public Utilities Departments. Humboldt Road and Schweitzer Road are fully constructed adjacent to this subdivision, and a traffic signal is installed and operational at the intersection. A portion of Schweitzer Road adjacent to the northwest corner of the site will be dedicated to the city. There are future plans to vacate part of Schweitzer Road west of Humboldt Road to be a private road owned by Center Point Property Owners Association, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. You have the petition on hand? You're still sworn in.
Chris Spacia again. I agree with the staff report on this. This is another kind of cleanup. It's going to get this property ready for future development. Similar to the Phase 26 plat, this plat will allow for the future vacation of Schweitzer Road west of Humboldt to become a private road. Separates out stormwater areas, pipeline easements, and those will be maintained by the Property Owners Association. And as the staff report points out, and a note that was added to the plat indicates that the development will comply with the IT zoning district setback and landscaping requirements. So with that, I would have.
The Property Owners
entertain
Association
questions.
is you guys, right? You guys are basically the association.
It's a separate legal entity,
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Mr. Spacia, you have 449 acres out there? 449 acres?
That's correct. This plat includes 449 acres.
Okay, how many warehouses are gonna be planned for that area? Do you have any idea?
I think it'll really depend on what the market demands are at the time, the
Okay.
size of the warehouse.
So there's no standard square footage area that, it all depends on who wants to rent them out, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Right.
okay, that's all I have.
Any other questions?
Just one, will Schweitzer East stay public? I know-
It will, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all. Thank you.
Does anybody from the public wish to speak up for it or against it? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve P-10-23 and FP-11-23?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Orlando,
Aye,
Mr. Cox,
Aye?
Mr. Crompton,
Aye.
Mr. Kellett,
Aye.
Mr. Dillon.
Aye.
Again, this one will go to City Council's second meeting in December with the recommendation for approval. Next agenda item is PUD 923, preliminary plan unit development of Lakewood Prairie subdivision, Unit 4, This is east of Barberry Way and south of Stone Crop Lane. Under general information, the applicant is Cal Atlantic Group LLC. Status of the applicant is contract purchaser. The requested action is approval of a preliminary plan unit development, Lakewood Prairie Subdivision Unit 4. Purpose is to allow future development of 180 townhomes. Again, the location is east of Barberry Way and south of Stone Crop Lane. Size is 22.187 acres net and approximately 39 acres in total with the detention area. Existing land use is vacant, undeveloped land. Surrounding land use and zoning to the north is two-family residential, R3. To the south is the detention pond, R4. East is agricultural undeveloped, R1B. And to the west is single-family residential, R1B. Under site history, the subject property was annexed into the city and zoned to its current zoning designation of R4, low-density multifamily residential zoning in December of 2003. Property was annexed and zoned with the greater Lakewood Prairie subdivision with intent to be developed with townhomes, thereby necessitating the existing R4 zoning designation. Development of the townhome portion was delayed due to unfavorable market conditions. At this time, the subject petitioner, Cal Atlantic Group LLC, wishes to develop 180 townhomes on the subject property as originally intended. Special information, the petitioner is requesting approval of a preliminary plan unit development plat of Lakewood Prairie Subdivision Unit 4. The proposed subdivision would contain 180 dwelling units within 33 townhome buildings. Townhome units would range between 1,550 and 1,800 square feet and would feature 2 to 3 bathrooms and 2 to 4 bedrooms per unit. Initial market pricing for townhomes would be between $350,000 and $380,000 per dwelling unit. Draft elevations and floor plans of the proposed townhome models have been included in the staff report packet. Section 47-15A.5 of the city's zoning ordinance allows for use exceptions within a PUD, provided that the Plan Commission finds the following: that the uses permitted by such exception are necessary or desirable and are appropriate with respect to the primary purpose of the development. 2, that the uses permitted by such exception are not of such a nature or so located as to exercise a detrimental influence on the surrounding neighborhood. And 3, that the uses permitted by such exception constitute less than 5% of the ground area of the plan unit development. Petitioner is requesting a use exception to reduce the amount of masonry from 100% along growth front elevations and 50% along growth side and rear elevations to the amounts shown within the submitted draft elevations. The previously approved annexation agreement for the subject property requires 50% of all gross front elevations, 25% of all gross side and rear elevations to be comprised of brick or stone. However, the agreement is set to expire in December of this year, 2023. Staff finds that the draft elevations provided show that the townhomes would have masonry frontages that meet or exceed those of comparable townhome developments within the city's far west side. Furthermore, staff believes that the use exception criteria will be met with the proposed elevations. Section 47-17.30 of the city's zoning ordinance describes anti-monotony requirements for residential construction. The ordinance states that no two multifamily buildings of substantially similar front elevation or facade shall be constructed or located adjacent to one another, nor shall there be constructed or located more than 25% of buildings of substantially similar front elevations or facade in any block. However, section 47-17.30 ODA allows for modifications to city's anti-monotony regulations should the mayor and city council, with the advice of the Plan Commission, find that the similarity of architectural form and style among buildings is integral to the character of a unified development plan in which the high quality of building materials, building plans, or site plan overcome the presumed deficiencies of similarity. Staff will continue to work with the petitioner on submitted designs and placements of potential townhome buildings within the site, but generally believes that the style and architectural form of the buildings within the submitted elevations will match or exceed with the design quality of comparable townhome developments throughout the city's far west side. The subdivision would feature 2 new streets, Nightshade Lane, which currently terminates just south of Stone Crop Lane, would be extended to the south and west to Barberry Way. Blazing Star Lane which would run between Nightshade Lane to the southwest portion of the PUD before reconnecting with Nightshade Lane in the northeast portion of the PUD. An existing stormwater detention pond to the south of the subject property has already been sized for the proposed scope of development of 180 townhomes on the subject property. The proposed PUD would have an approximate density of 4.56 dwelling units per acre when including the property's total site area. A 3.1 acre shared open space outline 902 can be found in the middle of the PUD between Blazing Star Lane and Nightshade Lane. Additional open space would be provided along the eastern boundary of Barberry Way. 10-foot wide bike path was built within this area in 2008 to provide a recreational amenity for the greater Lakewood Prairie development. Petitioner is hoping to negotiate inclusion of the subject PUD into the existing Lakewood Prairie Homeowners Association, but is willing to form its own HOA in the event it cannot gain approval from the neighboring HOA. The site is subject to Manuka Elementary and High School District contributions, the school facilities fee, Joliet sewer and water connection fees, and the economic development impact fee. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have a petitioner on hand?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name, please, and speak into the mic.
Vincent Rosanova. I do have a PowerPoint slideshow that I'd just like to share with you. Ray's gonna help get me loaded. So once again, for the record, I'm Vince Rosanova with the law firm of Rosanova and Whitaker here tonight today on behalf of the petitioner, which is Lennar Corporation. Also available for any questions and present today, Todd Clevin, Lennar's Director of Land Acquisition, as well as our civil engineer, Madeline Larman with Mackey Consultants. We certainly appreciate Jim's detailed and thorough presentation, so I'm just going to hit upon a few key aspects, and then our team will be available for any questions. So we'll start out this afternoon with a brief background about Lennar. Certainly a very well-respected national home builder, has been building homes across the country since 1954. Since that time, they've become the second largest home builder in the country, and they've earned a reputation to be known for quality as well as their commitment to their home buyers. In the Chicagoland market, they currently have 39 active communities, which makes them the most successful home builder operating in the Chicagoland area. I'm sure many of you are familiar with their recent project in the Joliet community, which was the Gray Wall Club, which is now sold out. We're delivering the last few homes, and this has certainly been a very nice addition to the city. With regard to the Lakewood Prairie subdivision we're discussing this afternoon, as Jim had mentioned, this particular unit has always been intended for a 180-unit townhome community for sale. The original PUD actually provided for a very robust range of housing options. This included single-family homes, duplexes, as well as the townhomes we're discussing this afternoon. In that regard, back in 2003, this property was actually zoned R4 to accommodate those future townhomes, and furthermore, all utilities were provided, stubbed into the site, as well as the access points off of Nightshade and Barberry. The only reason why these townhomes were not built to date is due to the economic downturn we saw in 2008, 9, and 10, which ultimately led to this property sitting vacant, underperforming, and contributing essentially nothing to the overall vibrancy of Lakewood Prairie. Not only is the proposal in front of you this evening consistent with the underlying zoning, the PUD, the annexation agreement, but it's also consistent with the city's comprehensive plan, which designates this property for townhomes. Accordingly, The site plan tonight is directly in conformance with all underlying documents as well as the comprehensive plan. As Jim mentioned in his report, we anticipate that the average sale prices will range between $350,000 to $380,000, which is significant sale prices and very good for a per square footage or comp perspective. So that will actually drive up the per square foot price within the community. If you look at the historic sales over the last 12 to 24 months, out of all the homes that have sold, they've sold generally in the range of about $170 per square foot, where it's anticipated that these townhomes will sell in the ballpark of $210 per square foot, which is very good for property values. I think it's also important to point out that traditionally a townhome doesn't compete with single-family homes. Typically, a townhome is very appealing to young professionals, empty nesters, active adults, those folks looking for low-maintenance housing opportunities, with the homeowners association being responsible for exterior maintenance, snow removal, as well as lawn care. Hey, so moving into the site plan, just a few key elements I want to discuss about this. The first thing is the significant buffer that we've instituted along Barberry Way. You can see not only is this landscape, but this also includes a significant berm as well as an enhanced setback, double of what the city code requires. This provides for a very nice aesthetic as you travel up and down Barberry Way. You could also see that we're only providing one access drive into the community. We're not front-loading townhomes with driveways off of Barberry. This certainly also enhances the view and enhances circulation. This has been designed with a significant amount of open space, not only with that buffer along Barberry, but perimeter buffers that far exceed the city's setback requirements, and then the centralized courtyard park, which will be a homeowners association park available for use by all residents. Altogether, we're approaching about 47% open space, which is very significant for a townhome community. Each home will have a nice patio in the back for the residents to get out, enjoy that open space area. Each home will also have a 2-car garage, as well as room to park 2 cars in the driveway. And as mentioned, we're connecting to the pre-planned access points off of Barberry up to Nightshade to create that circulation that has always been intended with this Lakewood Prairie PUD. With regard to the buffer, I just made this detail just to show you, not only do we have the landscape berm, which is evergreen based for year-round screening, but we also have a 72-foot setback to the right-of-way line, which is almost triple, I believe, of what the city code requires. So that'll provide a nice separation between this little enclave. Now, with regard to architecture, we wanted to come up with architecture that was traditional, that was complementary to the surrounding area. I think Lennar's done an excellent job. You can see that the masonry wraps around all 4 sides of the elevation. There'll be architectural shingles, which will add interest, as well as varying roof peaks and pitches, which will also add additional interest. And then you can see the architectural details, covered entries, decorative garage doors with windows, as well as decorative cornices. So these architectural enhancements carry along all 4 sides, which we think will be very nice in the community. This next slide just depicts the quality which Lennar incorporates into the interior of their homes, which is evident with these slides as well. And that's really the executive summary. We certainly appreciate your time and consideration this evening. I will say we've taken this very slow and methodically over the last 9 months. We've worked closely with city staff to make sure all their points of view were taken into account with the site plan and also all the original PUD vision for this community. We've also reached out to the board of directors of the Lakewood Prairie Homeowners Association, had some productive meetings. We also had a meeting where we invited every single resident of the community back in August, September to come to the clubhouse, review, provide feedback on the site plan and the architecture. I would characterize that as very productive, very positive. The main question that we received was relating to price points, and certainly at the $350,000 to $380,000 price point, that is significant and consistent with the value and the price points that we see in the community. So thank you, and we're available for questions.
Thank you. Do we have questions from any of the board members?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I knew you had something. I had some.
Sir, one thing, is this, it says over here, it's the Cal Atlantic Group. Now, who's the Cal Atlantic Group? You said you're with Lennar?
Yeah, Cal Atlantic Group, commonly known as Lennar Corporation.
Oh,
Yeah.
same outfit. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, another thing too. They're gonna have 180 dwellings and 33 townhome buildings, right?
Correct.
Okay, are these all gonna be like, cookie cutter, I'm just using that word, cookie cutter floor plans? Or can the people, can they alternate the floor plans according to what their needs are?
I certainly appreciate that question. There is a variety of floor plans that each of the home buyers could select, ranging from between 2 to 4 bedroom homes, 2 or 3 bathrooms. So we all offer multiple floor plans.
Okay, good. Another thing too, it says over here that, at first you wanted 100%, it was, along the front and 50% along the side and rear, but now you wanted to reduce the masonry to, 50% front and 25 side and rear?
So correct. So ultimately, when Lakewood Prairie was developed, it was under an annexation agreement. And the annexation agreement specified specifically what the architectural requirements would be for the entire community. And those architectural requirements specified in the annexation agreement were different from the city code. So ultimately, with the annexation agreement expiring here in the near term, we just want to lock in those masonry requirements. So what we're building is consistent with what was already built in Lakewood Prairie and consistent with the original vision.
So the original Lakewood Prairie, those houses, they have 50%?
You know, the single family is treated differently. So the single family in Lakewood Prairie, if I remember correctly, the requirement there was 50% of the single family homes would have 25% masonry on the front elevation. So you could simply drive through the community and 50% of the homes would have no masonry material whatsoever. And then 50% of the homes would have 25% masonry on the front. Whereas what we're proposing is we're gonna have masonry on the front as well as masonry that carries around the sides and rear of each building.
Yeah, but that's gonna be reduced from 100% down to 50%, right?
Generally, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got a little problem with that, because if you're spending $350,000 to $380,000 on a home, don't you think it'd be worth it? It would increase the value of the townhome to have masonry complete on the front?
So definitely a consumer preference item. So typically what we're seeing in the market is the consumers, if they have $350,000 to spend, we're seeing that they really like to spend the money inside the house. And with the exterior masonry where we have it on the front elevation, the side elevations, the rear elevation, it's a beautiful look, not to mention the other attributes of the architecture, which I discussed. Today, these days, consumers don't really see the value in spending the extra 10 or 15,000 for an entirely front, or entirely masonry front, when they rather spend the money inside the house for maybe a gourmet kitchen option or upgraded granite or upgraded flooring. That's what we're seeing. And if we're not sensitive to that, then all of a sudden, if we require that additional masonry, then we price ourselves out of a market where we're already at a very high per square foot price.
I can just interject for point of clarification. I apologize.
Yeah, go ahead.
Todd
You state your name, please.
Todd Clevin,
Swear to
Director
tell
of
the
Land
truth, the whole
Acquisition.
truth, nothing but truth?
Yes.
Speak into the mic, please.
Just a point of clarification, Mr. Orlando, you asked if we are reducing that. As Vince indicated, it's currently already reduced. We're just extending the annexation agreement that is set to expire. So currently, that's how it's written, 50%. We're not asking to go from 100 to 50. We're just asking to extend it because the annexation agreement will expire before we begin the project.
So in other words, the city ordinance right now is 50%.
For this particular parcel, correct.
Oh, it is?
As we
Okay.
stand here today. Yeah.
So,
Okay, gotcha, okay. Another thing too, I was gonna ask you about there's supposed to be 3.1 acres shared with an open space lot number 902 between Blazing Star and Nightshade.
Correct.
Okay, is that gonna be for the, like a walk path or a park or?
So that's an internal open space courtyard area. Every single resident is welcome to go out there and relax and enjoy it, but it's not any sort of actively programmed park where there'll be playground or anything like that in this area. So if you look at the Lakewood Prairie PUD as a master plan community, there are several future park sites that have been planned and by agreement to be dedicated to the park district. So ultimately, if there's a desire to go play in a larger park that's programmed, there's the opportunity there. But this central courtyard will be more passive relaxation, recreation.
Okay, all right. And another thing too, there's not gonna be no cul-de-sacs in the, just winding roads, like see Bribery Lane and everything's gonna be a winding road? Because
Correct, and the,
the city of Joliet has a lot of problems when it comes to snow removal for cul-de-sacs. I've been hearing a lot of that.
and I understand that too, and that's a common concern across many municipalities. Here, it really provided for the terminus into Barberry and Nightshade, where we're connecting up and everything is interconnected and there's no cul-de-sacs.
Okay. Okay, I got one other, problem here too. The HOA thing, I got a call today, from a lady and, who's a property management company. Okay, and she said that, that the, Lakewood Prairie, the original Lakewood Prairie, they wanna have a different, homeowners association for this development. Is that what is gonna be now, a different, HOA?
So we will definitely have our own homeowners association for this townhome component. And the primary reason for that is because this is more of a maintenance-free community where the association takes care of the snow removal, the landscaping, and the exterior maintenance, as well as the common areas and items of that nature. So we will definitely have our own homeowners association. Now, being part of the overall master plan unit development for Lakewood Prairie, there's a larger master association. We were also planning to ask if we could join that association as well, because that's the original intent. And if that's the case, then obviously there's also homeowners association amenities that our future residents could use. Two examples would be the clubhouse and the pool. So that approval is certainly discretionary amongst the members of the homeowners association, which I believe there's 927 homes altogether platted within this community. And in order for us to join the master association, we would need a vote of 2/3 of the membership, 66.6%. So we're gonna pursue that. And if they ultimately say, yes, we'd like you to join this master association, that would be fantastic. I'm sure our residents would love it, but it's totally within their discretion. If they say no, we still proceed. We still have our own association to monitor and take care of the common open space in our area.
Okay.
Have you talked to them already about it or no?
Yes, we've had 2 meetings with the board of
And
directors.
what was the outcome?
And they're open to it. I believe that without speaking for other folks, I believe that the board of directors are open to it, but they expressed to us that we would have to put that to a vote of the general membership. And that's a process.
They're open to you guys joining the master one,
Yep,
but then you'll still have your own private one.
yeah, we have every right to have our private one. We won't, I mean, there will be a private association here, whether
It
we
means you guys
join
would
the
be plowing
master.
the roads on this new subdivision, not like the other, where the city does the rest.
So these are all city roads. City roads, Barberry, Nightshade, these will be city roads as well. So the city will take care of these internal roads, which we've built to city specifications, 31 feet back of curb to back of curb. So they'll ultimately be publicly dedicated to the city. Roads will be city.
Okay. These are, these townhomes, there's like 5 units per building, right?
Correct.
What separates them for fire?
So I'm not the
There's
architect.
5 of us here, we all have a building.
Yeah.
What separates us from each other? And if
You know, that one.
Jeff has a big fire in his place, it's gonna hit mine.
So what I will say is they're rated for fire separation between buildings. Now, the
How?
specific rating and the materials, I'm not an
Stone?
architect, so I
Is it,
can't speak to it.
Concrete block?
But I
concrete
will
block?
say that anything we build is pursuant to the International Building Code and city requirements. So maybe Todd knows a little more.
It's the, I believe it's whatever is
Get it to
required.
Mike, Todd.
Sorry. It's the state requirement, the I think it's a 2-hour rated firewall separation between each unit.
So is it
It's-
drywall or is it block?
It is drywall with fire rating material sandwiched in between it.
Yeah, I've seen drywall gun and fire too, but is that double drywall, 5/8 thick, double-sided on
I'm
each
not
side?
sure on the exact cross-section of the wall, but I do know that it meets the 2-hour fire rating code.
And that's part of the building permit process. When we come in for building permit, our architect will draw the plans, and they'll be in conformance with city code as well as the applicable building
That
code.
would be a city ordinance then?
Yeah,
Yes, so the city adopts the international building codes, and the international building codes dictate what you need as far as fire separation between units. So when we get to the point where our architect designs the architectural plans that we submit for building permit, all those details will be provided.
you guys are gonna be maintaining the pond to the south, I take it then?
You know, that is the detention basin for the association, so that is correct.
Okay,
Is that the pond by the Jones School on Barbary Lane? Is that the pond that you're talking
So
about?
exactly, I don't know if you can see it on your monitor, but this pond here, just to the south of us, this was the pond that was master designed to provide stormwater detention for Lakewood Prairie. So that pond is definitely maintained by the master association.
Okay.
so you guys will have your own green space, but just not a park?
Correct.
Now, when I look at this map, what's the difference between in the center of it, from one building to the other, one, the green space walking across?
So where exactly are you pointing?
I don't know, one looks like it's 84 feet, but I'm not sure if it's pretty
So
small.
if you're talking about the separation between the buildings,
Oh, well, but that's not between not where the garages are, and the backside where you said be able to sit outside.
oh, so along Barberry, we have 72-foot setback. So between the back of one of our homes to the right-of-way line along Barberry, that's 72 feet. I believe that code requires, Jim could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the rear yard setback is 25. We have 72 feet there to provide that extensive separation, not to mention the berm and the landscaping.
Is that where the park will go, or?
No, there's no park.
So
Oh, there's no park.
there's no park, but here in the center of the site, as Jim mentioned in his staff report, is 3.1 acres of open space.
So that would all be just
This
grass
is all
then, right?
open.
Heavy
Yeah,
grass
it's all
and
grass.
land-
All grass
Landscaping.
and shrubs and that?
Right,
That's it?
right.
Okay, was there ever an intention to put like a walk path or a park or anything in this development?
So what's really nice is there will be sidewalks on both sides of the street, consistent with the city's subdivision control ordinance. Then there's already an extensive path system along Barberry, which is already built, which is already an 8 to 10 foot wide path, which takes you throughout the community as well as up to the clubhouse, up to the future public parks. So that network has already been provided for. So our sidewalks connect up to the path network.
Okay.
You have an estimate how much the fees will be for the association, for the basic, for yours?
So if the master association would let us join, that would be, what I was quoted was $50 a month, which would be something that would certainly be feasible for us.
And then what about for yours?
For ours, typically, they would range between $200 and $300 a month.
After paying $350,000 for the building?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay.
And no brick.
But, well, you get brick.
And
You get
reduced brick, right?
You're just not 100% brick, but you get brick, yeah.
It's hard to find 100% brick anywhere in Joliet these days. Let's go to the old Joliet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other questions?
I have a question about parking. I'm just looking at these streets where, as close as the driveways are, will there be on-street parking allowed?
So, absolutely. So city code requires 1.5 parking spaces per home. We have 2 parking spaces in the garage. Each driveway could accommodate 2 parking spaces. So we're at 4 parking spaces per home instead of 1.5. Plus, we're building the roadways to the full 31 feet, cross-section from back of curb to back of curb, which in my estimation allows for parking on both sides of the street. A lot of times you go to certain municipalities and they pinch down that cross-section to 26 or 27 or 28 feet, and then that makes it more difficult to have parking on both sides of the street. But here with a 31-foot wide cross-section, that certainly provides for parking on both sides of the street.
And will the residents here be using like the regular garbage cans, or will there be a dumpster enclosure?
Absolutely right. Treated very much like a single-family home, so the residents will wheel out their trash on trash day, and then after it's picked up, they'll put the cans back in the garage. And that'll be addressed in the covenants as well. We have very specific covenants to ensure that we preserve property values. No cans are gonna be left outside, they have to be in the home, other than on garbage day.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody, the citizens would like to speak for or against this? Come on up, now's the time. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
State your name and speak into the mic, please.
Perry Jones. Okay. I live right there, 913 Barberry Way. My house was one of the first ones that was built on that Barberry Way. I live at 913. Okay. When I had my house built, they told me that area was going to be used for recreation, okay, not for townhomes. Had they built townhomes there before I had my house built, never would have had it built in that area. I can say that since 2007, when I moved in, I haven't had any issues since I've been living there. The thing I would state is our homeowners association, okay, has allowed homes to be sold, to be rented, okay, to renters. And I'm not happy. I have one right behind my house. And my main concern with this construction that's getting ready to be built, if the city allows it to, is once those homes are built and they start having people that can't afford to pay, they're gonna start Section 8ing and renting those places out. And we don't, as a homeowner, that is a concern to me. These gentlemen, with all due respect, they're looking to make money, which that's what real estate people do. But, when I moved in my house, I paid $320,000 for my house, and it's almost paid for. So I'm getting ready to retire. I love where I live at. I would hate to have to put my house up for sale. I don't want to be a person that says that, these guys shouldn't be allowed to do this, but there are concerns that I have. My neighbors, they're not here today, but if this moves on for a vote through the commission and through the city council, I think we're gonna have more people show up and voice their opinions. I just wanna voice my opinion for the record, so you guys can know just how I feel, because this is directly, almost right across the street from where I live at. Right now, I don't have any access to exit to Black Road. I have to go all the way down around Stone Crop Lane to get out. There's a driveway that goes all the way out to County Line Road, okay? If I go the other way, down by the Jones School, it's blocked off because of the school, so there's no access unless you go out Black Road toward Ridge Road. So, for the development that these two gentlemen are talking about, I can understand their concerns, but, I've been living here a long time, and I just want them to know my concerns. So,
I have to
Thank
agree
you,
with
sir.
you.
Yeah, no,
I have to agree with you, sir, about, it's a hard way to get to the subdivision. Because I took a ride out there, because I had no idea where it was at. And I'll tell you what, I almost had to pack a lunch to get out there. It's a long haul from Joliet here. I agree with you on that. It is kind of a hard area to get to.
And I really want the commission to know that that area was designed for a recreation. That's what I was told when I first had my house constructed there. It wasn't, I mean, I heard this gentleman say that it was originally constructed, it was gonna be for townhomes.
I'm just
He might-
curious,
he
sir, who
might-
told you it was for recreation, though?
That was when I went to have my, house, that was Lakewood Prairie, when we.
The association told you that?
Yes, I mean, that was back in '07. Well, I moved in '07, back in
Yeah.
'05, '06, when I started, they told me that that's what that area was gonna be for. The school, the association gave the land to build the school there. I mean, that school wasn't there when I first moved there. And, I'm glad there's a school there now. But I don't wanna put a bash on these guys, because they're businessmen. But I love the community I live in, and I just want you guys to know for the record how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. It'd be pretty expensive to buy one of these for $350,000, then rent it out. You can really get your money. How much, you guys expect to sell all these, or?
Absolutely. These are all for sale. These are all for sale. And you're exactly right. You would go broke very quickly trying to buy up $380,000 townhomes and rent them out as Section 8. It's never gonna happen.
You won't make that much money. You won't make
It's
anything.
never gonna happen. These are, I mean, as far as ownership and maintenance, it's $380,000. It's consistent with the pricing throughout the Lakewood Prairie planned unit development. I do appreciate Mr. Jones' comments. I will say that at no time was this ever approved for recreation. This was always, since the 2003 PUD approvals, it was specified for 180 townhomes. There is an annexation agreement from 2003, which specifically says at this location, 180 townhomes. At that time, it was also zoned R4 to provide for the 180 townhomes. So unfortunately, with all the documents in place, somebody sadly gave Mr. Jones the wrong idea. This has always been townhomes. I wouldn't be here today trying to say, let's convert recreational use property into townhomes. And one other clarification, it wasn't the association who dedicated the 15 acres to the school district. It was the original developer. When they came in for the PUD approvals, over 300 acres, the school district said, we would like an elementary school, at which time the original developer said, I'm gonna give you this 15 acres here. And that's how that all transpired.
Underneath your HOA, do you think you'll have anything that would limit renting out these units?
So I'm gonna let Todd from Lennar Corporation speak to that. I do know in the covenants, there's definitely preclusion on any sort of short-term rentals, but long-term rentals of a year or more, you can speak to it.
If that's a request,
Okay, you can take to the mic, because I never hear you.
no problem. Again, Todd Clevin with Lennar. If that is a request of the village, we will insert that these cannot be rented out by an LLC. Now, the individual, if they come on hard times or for whatever reason they need to rent theirs out, we will not restrict that, but we will restrict a company from coming in and acquiring 2 or more units for rental use.
Okay.
Yeah, one more question. I have another question too. These townhomes, when you build them, are you gonna build a certain amount at a time, to see how the sales are going?
Yes, so when
And
we.
then add on as you, as they
Correct.
sell?
We have this all underwritten at a certain pace. That pace right now is about 4 per month. That's about the pace that we would also pull building permits at.
Is that four buildings per month?
I know 4 units for,
Oh, 4 units?
That's
per
one
month.
building.
Okay.
we'll probably come in and start on 3 buildings.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other citizens that wish to speak on this issue?
I also have one question, John, when you get a chance.
You have more questions?
I have just one more question.
Hi, my name is
You
Marcia.
state your name.
Rusinellis.
You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth?
Yes,
State your name again.
Marcia Rusinellis.
Speak into the mic, pull it towards you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay. I live out in that area way long before any of these housing, went up. You know, the housing market. It was all rural, and to me, it was a big adjustment to see all these, instead of growing vegetables, we're growing homes. But I think Lakewood has done a great job, with this development, and I think it's great that this new developer wants to come in and take risk to build on this vacant lot. I think it's important that any vacant lots be utilized in some positive way. And for, young people now, they don't want the responsibility of a yard. They want to be able to go out on the weekends, ride a boat, or whatever the case might be. And I think that's ideal for young people and also for the senior adults. And it's a beautiful layout. So I'm for it. I've gotten used to the idea of house tops. If it's good for the people, then I think it would be a great development.
Okay, thank you, man. You had a question, Jeff?
Yeah, Vincent, this may be for you or Jim even, is there any intention of opening up Black Road at County Line Road? It's
So-
currently blocked off at the school.
That one, that would be, that's off-site improvement, so I defer to staff on that question. Black Road, when you get to the east of the school.
Yeah, I mean, there's an intention to connect that, whether it's the developer of that adjacent property's responsibility or a city project, no city projects for that. So it'd be when that property adjacent to it develops, like this one, where they would do an improvement and put that through fully.
Okay. Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to speak for or against? Okay, any other questions from the board members? No. Do we have a motion for, which one was this? PUD 9-23, is that what the one?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
So this will go with the recommendation for approval to city council second meeting in December.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Last agenda item here is FP 1223, final plat of Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision Phase 2. Under general information, the applicant Northern Builders, Kenneth Ninehouse. Status of the applicant is the developer. The owner is Cherry Hill South LLC. The requested action is approval of a final plat. Under purpose to allow development of a light industrial subdivision for a future cold storage facility and other industrial uses there. Existing zoning is I-1 light industrial. The location is north of Spencer Road between Cherry Hill Road and Gauger Road. The size is approximately 71 total acres. Existing land use is undeveloped. Surrounding land use and zoning to the north is warehouse I-1. To the south is undeveloped farmland I-1 and County A-1. To the east is undeveloped farmland I-1, County A-1. And to the west is warehouse undeveloped I-1. Under site history, the subject property was annexed into the city and zoned to its existing zoning designation of I-1 light industrial in April of 2005. Property is a part of the preliminary plan for the Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision, which was originally platted to include four lots for future light industrial use with 2 outlots for stormwater detention. A recording plat for Phase 1 of the subdivision, which recorded Lot 1 of the south of, to the south of Ellis Road, and Outlot A for stormwater detention and compensatory storage, was approved in September of 2021. Under special information, the petitioner wishes to final plat and also record at City Council the remaining lots from the previously approved preliminary plat of Unit 6 for future development of a cold storage facility on Lot 3. Petitioner has simultaneously submitted for approval of a recording plat, and this will be sent to the City Council for consideration in December if all goes well. The subject property received a variation from the City Zoning Board of Appeals in January of 2023 to allow double deep trailer parking that is shown on the proposed site plan for Lot 3. The total subject area is approximately 71 acres in size. Lot 3 is located to the north of Spencer Road within the southern portion of the Unit 6 site. Lot 3 would be approximately 23.6 acres in size and contain a 358,759 square foot cold storage building. The site would eventually feature 103 truck trailer stalls and 118 car parking spaces. Lots 2 through 4 are buildable lots that range in size from 11.3 acres to 24.1 acres. 30-foot wide landscape buffer would be located along the north side of Spencer Road frontage, 40-foot wide setback, which would include a 20-foot wide public utility landscape easement, would separate any future development between Lot 2 and Ellis Road. Each landscape buffer area will contain berming and installation of landscaping per section 47-15E.5 of the city zoning ordinance. Each future lot would be required to connect to city water and sanitary sewer upon future development. Water and sewer connection fees and development impact fees will be required. Future development must comply with all requirements pursuant to the city zoning ordinance, non-residential design standards, landscaping, and screening regulations, and unified tree ordinance. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have the petitioner on hand for this? You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name,
is
please.
Ken Ninehouse with Northern Builders.
You have anything you wish to add to all this?
I think Jim did an excellent job explaining our property that we own and the project that we have been working on for over a year. It's our intention to finish the subdivision of this roughly 100 acres to carve out what was known as Lot 19. The numbers are a little different. This, we refer to 20 as 24. I think you folks have it as Lot 4, and the adjacent lot to the west, so those are buildable. It is our intention to move forward with this project to permitting as soon as we're done with the Plan Commission and City Council process. We are doing Spencer Road at this time, turning that into 3 lanes. So we will be bringing the infrastructure to this property with the next phase, which is new sewer and water. And we are working with ComEd and NICOR right now to bring in the rest of the infrastructure.
Okay. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sir, you said you have 2 outlets for stormwater detention?
Those are existing. That was built with the initial subdivision in 2005, I think.
Okay.
With our original annexation and the master planning for this. So yes, all the stormwater detention is existing and grandfathered for these new developments.
In Unit 6, it says there's 4 lots for future light industrial. Is that gonna be developed along with this project, or?
No, they're on a market basis. Obviously, we've been doing this since 2005, and the sites range from 11 to this one's just under 24 acres. The site adjacent to the west is smaller. Jim, I'm not sure the size. I'm going to say it's maybe 15 to 18.
Let's see, we had total subject area 71 acres, lot 3.
The one at Ellis, I believe, is 11.
23 acres, yeah. Lot 2 through 4 are buildable lots that range from 11.3 acres to 24 acres.
And this being the 24-acre site for the Agile cold storage project.
Okay, so on Lot 3, that's the 26 acres, that's gonna hold a 358,700 cold storage site?
That is correct, in 2 phases. Phase 1 is approximately 206,000, and where you see the green area in the back, that's slated for phase 2, which would be roughly another 150,000 square feet.
Okay, what type of product is the cold storage gonna hold?
Food.
Food?
Food, yes, for major suppliers like Kraft and other national
So like
brands.
frozen meat, stuff like that?
Frozen meat, probably frozen dinners and
Okay,
probably everything we eat.
okay. Another thing I have, what type of refrigeration are you gonna use?
Freon-based,
Freon?
yes.
Okay, so, you have any, chilling towers, a water chiller tower?
No, there won't be any shower. These are very unique systems. The cold storage business is changing. Traditionally, you've probably seen in the past where they build just a refrigerated building that would be at 35 degrees for refrigerated products, or you would have a frozen facility for frozen products. So very unique companies that they work with. Actually, they're out of Georgia that build systems that are completely convertible, where they can be operated at 35 degrees for the needs today, and they can be changed tomorrow or next year to operate at -10. So we can go back and forth. There are 3 convertible freezers in there that you'll see on the north side that can be changed as the needs change of the customers, but it's fully flexible. So it's rooftop mounted equipment, completely flexible to go for either frozen or refrigerated.
Okay, so what, the water source, for the building is just gonna be, just for, regular usage, right?
It's for domestic and it is for the fire protection system.
Okay, okay, the only problem I had out there, I took a ride out there, and Spencer Road, right now, there's no there used to be a 10-ton limit
That's correct.
between, Briggs Street to Gauger, but now there's no 10-ton limit at all. The only-
There won't be. We are spending over $10 million to improve that and put in brand-new 3 lanes in all of Joliet from Cherry Hill Road to the eastern limits, which end on this site. It's New Lenox beyond that. So we'll be rebuilding that pavement section, but that's all we can really do with it because that is just under a county at this time.
Okay.
It is not annexed.
And I seen from Cherry Hill Road to, a farmhouse, I believe, there was, the not the sewer, but the water main was put in. But
Yes.
it didn't continue to, Spencer Road to Gauger.
It does not. It will be, the inevitable plan is for this to loop back and make a connection to the water source at Ellis so that there is a complete loop and it does not dead end. That is in our engineering plans that we've submitted and worked with Jim's team and engineering on.
Okay. Another question I have for you. I took a ride out there on Cherry Hill Road, okay? I was, at one couple houses there, and I backed out, and there is one opening on Cherry Hill, right almost in the center of, that would be Spencer Road and Ellis Road. There was a truck a semi-truck came out of there. Are they gonna use that for exit or entrance?
No, that has nothing that's completely separate. This will only enter and exit off of Spencer Road for this particular building, for the Edgeville Cold Storage Project. The lot adjacent to the west would only be access to Spencer, and the other lot that's referenced in this subdivision is on Ellis, but that is almost directly north, so that's not anywhere near Cherry Hill. Close to
Okay,
Gauger.
how about on Gauger Road? There gonna be any entrances
No, we
or
have
exits?
nothing on Gauger Road. Gauger Road is New Lenox. It's no longer Joliet. This is the last limits of Joliet at this site. There's approximately another 1,000 feet to the east to get to Gauger Road. That is right now unincorporated.
Did you say you're rebuilding one of the roads or something?
We are Spencer Road.
So what do you think I have the weight limit on that one?
That is for, 80,000 pounds, whatever the standard trailers are, built to Joliet standards for trucks.
Yep.
We're also improving the intersection at Gauger and Spencer so that those trucks can make the turn. Right now, the radius is not sufficient.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's quite a project. So we're bringing the infrastructure in so we can build some buildings.
Yep. Any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Just a comment point. Jim or whoever, the disclosure form hasn't been filled out, so
Oh.
Yes, it was.
at least what we're looking at on,
I'm not sure what's being referenced.
the city of Joliet ownership disclosure form is empty on what I'm showing on my,
Oh, my paper copy is filled out, so maybe
Yeah.
something,
okay. maybe-
Yeah,
just got
maybe it's
missent.
just yours.
If you
We-
wanted it, we could send it to you.
Yeah.
That's, it's okay.
They left ours blank, that's all.
No,
Ours
yeah,
is blank on here,
Yeah.
that's all.
okay.
Anything else?
There was one lady that I think she wanted to.
We haven't got that far yet. Is there any citizens that wish to speak up before or against this at all? Seeing none. You do?
Hey,
Come up, ma'am.
Well,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Pull the mic towards you, speak into it. Speak your name, please.
Donna Ardo,
It bends, just bend it over. There you go.
Donna Ardo. I don't know that, looking at these plots, they mean nothing to me. I have this one that I got in the mail, which shows coming down Spencer Road where they're supposedly going to put this, right, that's the one. And that little bitty square in Spencer Road is our house. We're the only house in that mile. And I'm concerned, first of all, with the building coming so close and all the traffic that's gonna be on. No one has approached us. I mean, I'm assuming, we had always assumed, you know, we're sitting in the middle of this place, that they're not gonna want us sitting in the middle of this industrial park. But no one has talked to us at all, and, you know, approached us at all of what they're doing, what they wanna do, you know, what our intentions are. We've lived there 53 years. Love the place, you know, it was wonderful country when we first moved out there. But now you're talking all these big semis coming down the road that we're gonna have to put up with, the noise. And I saw today, someone was on the lots east of us, which I think Cherry Hill, which I know Northern Builders owns, and they looked like they were testing the ground. You know, I assume maybe water, you know, how the water drains or whatever. I don't know what they were doing, but somebody was out there working. So in my mind, they're already thinking about east of us, putting up something. So there we will be, you know, with these huge industrial buildings next to us with the
You'll be
noise and the
surrounded.
traffic. You know, our intention always was to live there until we died, but, you know, who knows when that's gonna be. But anyway, I'm just concerned. I'm concerned with the water. Now, if I understood, Mr. Newhausen right, that they're not going to be doing wells where they're gonna be drilling into the ground, because I know I had a relative that lived on Gauger, and when Lincoln went in, drained her well. She had to go down 400 feet and put a new well in at her own cost. Our well is very shallow. We only have a 60-foot well. So, you know, I'm concerned about that. Is there gonna be any kind of water interference with this building? What kind of things, if they're not interested in getting us out of that middle, you know, how are they gonna protect us so we don't have something, I mean, it's not gonna protect us on the road with all the trucks, but I'm, you know, I'm not prepared, and I don't understand exactly what's all being set up here and what's being planned, but I'm just concerned with my little acre and 3/4, you know, there we sit, you know, with these huge buildings around us. Is there no other option, you know, for us? I would like to say, yeah, don't put that cold storage plant in, but one person isn't gonna stop big company, you know, I know that. So that's my concern, you know. Is there any intention for us from Northern Builders, or they don't care and you're not in my way, we can build right around you, it doesn't bother us, so sit there until you rot, you know? That's my concern.
Okay.
And I would like to maybe talk to you afterwards and, you know, maybe get some feedback from Northern Builders. Northern Builders has been a great neighbor. I mean, because they own the big barn on the other side of our property. And so they're in and out of there a lot. And they've been very, very nice people. They've always, even the ones coming in and putting in this new road now. You know, in fact, one of the gentlemen there had said they were gonna continue on to Gauger Road with this drainage and the fire hydrants that they've come up to our house with right now. And now if I understood from this, no, nothing is gonna be going on past, you know, on the other end of Spencer Road. But I would think if they're putting a whole brand-new road in, they'd be doing all the drainage and everything else at one time. So that's my concern, you know, I just, you know, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want it to go in, but like I said, I know I can't stop it. So that's my concern. And
Sir, do
maybe-
you plan on digging wells?
We do not. We are putting in all brand new, water mains and, city sewer for
City.
this project. And this is, you know, this has been a master planned, 600-acre development since, 2000. This was annexed and zoned in 2005. And these buildings have been planned since that time. They were
Yeah, almost 20 years.
on it. You know, back then, everybody knew what this was going to be. We're building to market as market comes along. And it's taken many, many years for the market to get here for the rest of it. I can tell you that the cold storage use is probably the least intrusive of everything, you know, compared to other office warehouse buildings. There's less truck traffic with it. We are planning on, for long term, which actually will give you more time. We're planning on maintaining the barn that you talked about. It's actually a construction storage building, and we're working with an agreement for a 7-year land lease with Agile to preserve our construction storage while we build out the rest of this park. So that will remain for at least another 7 years, and there's substantial landscaping going in as a buffer. I think the road will be a massive improvement. Right now, it's basically, it's been a country road that's been paved over and paved over and paved over, but not really strong
But it didn't
enough
need
to
more.
have-
Yeah, it
For
didn't
any
need more.
deliveries to go
Right.
down the road, you really can't, it's not rated for any kind of truck. So it will be a benefit to everyone to have a full 3-lane road where the center could be for turning, so it'd be much safer condition than it is right now.
Well, I don't argue that. I mean, you know, you're right, and that road is not made for big trucks, so you've got to improve it to bring the big trucks in.
Right.
But if you weren't putting the building there, you wouldn't need the new road. But,
Okay.
and you said about.
Was there any more questions, ma'am?
Nobody has ever approached us. Nobody has ever approached us from Northern Builders in 20 years. And said, you
Ma'am,
know, this is what
If
we
if
want to
there's
do
no
with
other,
your land.
ma'am, if there's no other questions, I mean, you can probably talk to them
Oh,
outside.
I'll be
Okay.
happy to talk to you
Okay,
afterwards.
all right. I've stated what I wanted to state.
Okay,
you
thanks.
know.
You know, I would just add that we would support Northern Builders reaching out to them and trying to work something out and not leaving them in the middle there. Like that, somehow incorporating this property into their overall development would be
Leave that up
best
to you, Jim.
for everybody.
We'll
Pardon me?
leave that up to you.
Yeah, but if that couldn't happen, there'll be berming and landscaping and screening around it. But hopefully, if you're willing to, you know, work with them on, you know, selling your property, hopefully that could be worked out, you know, if you know,
So you're not just ignoring
that kind of thing works out.
Okay, all right.
I will-
Anybody
I will
else
talk.
that wishes to speak for or against? Seeing none, any other questions from commissioners? Seeing none, do we have a motion for, what is this, FP-12-23?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Before I vote, I'd like to make a couple comments. I'm really not comfortable with cold storage units, and I'm also not comfortable with Cherry Hill Road because of the one access there. I had a hard time getting out of the driveway, and so with that, I'd have to vote nay.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye.
So this will go with recommendation for approval to city council second meeting in December. Next order of business would be new business. We have none. Under old, new business, not for final action or recommendation, we have none. Under public comments, this section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding non-agenda items and are allowed a maximum of 4 minutes. Does anybody want to speak on non-agenda items?
Nope, don't see nobody.
Okay.
I have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We're adjourned.